Well, thanks, everybody. It's nice to see everybody here. See a lot of faces that we already know, and nice to meet new folks today. We want to welcome the mayor of Petersburg, Sam Parent. He's here. And Kim Taylor is here, our delegate. And we want to welcome the governor of Virginia, the greatest state in the nation, back to Saucy's again for a second time. So thanks so much for coming through again. Very much. Thanks. So we're going to bring Kim Taylor up to say hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today. It's a pleasure to be here at a Petersburg staple with you all this afternoon, and I'm so thankful to have some distinguished guests here as well. In recent years, we've seen the debilitating effects of radical liberal policies on our economy, our communities, and most importantly, our families. Bidenomics has been an abject failure across our Commonwealth. In the past few years, Joe Biden's economic policies, eggs cost $10 a dozen, gas skyrocketed to a historic $5 a gallon, and there was a baby formula shortage that made our young families desperate and caused them to drive for miles and miles and hours while suffering from those same high gas prices. As of September 2022, Bidenomics cost Americans an average of $4,200 in an annual income. Things haven't gotten better under these circumstances, but only worse. $4,200 is a rent payment, it's multiple car payments, multiple mortgage payments, and so much more. I've been hard at work with Republicans in Virginia to lower the cost of living, especially here in Petersburg, so that we can show America how great it is to be a Virginian. In my mission to revitalize Petersburg, we've delivered almost $40 million of funding to fix our water and wastewater management systems. And in that $40 million, it also includes tearing down the Ramada End. And we've just started, so we're nowhere near done. As a business owner, I know what it's like to sign the front and back of a paycheck. Being in charge of making ends meet for over 40 Virginia families is a heavy burden. But that means I have to be a woman of action, someone who gets things done. I approach representing our community the way I approach business, getting things done. I believe in leadership that works for our communities and puts them in the forefront. And that's why I've worked tirelessly to improve the quality of life here in Petersburg and across our district. Because Virginians deserve better than just making ends meet. That's why today we're announcing a big tax rebate for Virginians to alleviate the rising cost of living, proving our commitment to continually improving our cost of living locally so we can raise our families well in Virginia. My commitment to you, the voters, is that I will continue to work tirelessly with you and for you. I will work with you to continue to bring a renaissance to Petersburg. I will work with you to fix the crime in our community that forces us to live in fear rather than live abundantly in our community. I will work for you to rebuild our city to be an industrial powerhouse where people are excited to come, work, live, and raise their families. I will work for you to continue to lower taxes. I will work for you to continue to fund law enforcement and our brave first responders so that we can make our community safer. And I will work tirelessly for you so we can be proud to call this home, because we should take pride in our home, and part in taking pride in our home is ownership of the sacred responsibility of improving our communities, but for future generations, so they can say with pride, I am from Petersburg, Virginia. This tax rebate will put money directly back into the pocket of Virginians so that you can do what you want with your money. Let me be clear, this money does not belong to the Commonwealth, it belongs to you. I believe Virginians know what's best for their family, not government. Thankfully, we have someone with us here today that is fighting daily to improve the quality of life, cost of living, and the safety of our communities right here in Petersburg. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the 74th Governor of Virginia, my good friend, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Thank you for loving our country, and thank you for your service. Amazing. Delegate Taylor, thank you, and what a beautiful day to be in Petersburg again. And Mr. Mayor, I just love being here, and I know that I'm standing between everybody and lunch. And so I just want to take a moment and thank everybody. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you for being part of the team in Petersburg. And what's been happening over the course of the last year has required everyone. And it requires folks in Petersburg, and it requires folks outside of Petersburg. And one of the great team efforts has been the work that's going on in our General Assembly, and I want to thank Delegate Mike Cherry, who is here, who's part of the team. Thank you. And I also want to just reiterate the great work that Delegate Kim Taylor has been doing. You know, what we have to do is bring people together. And the Republican leadership in the House has to work with the Democrat leadership in the Senate. And we have to get things done. Budgets emanate in the House. That's where bills start. That's where the work gets done. And then there's a discussion with the Senate, and they have their needs and interests. And then there's work to bring it all together. And Delegate Kim Taylor has been working on behalf of Petersburg, and I just want to thank you for helping make this city so much better. Thank you. Now, I know that Mayor Perham and I share a lot in common. One of them is a love for this place. Sauces rocks. And I will deliver the nachos back to my wife, Suzanne, direct from Sauces. I will take some credit for that, but Mr. Mayor, I will give the rest of it to you and the McCormick. So thank you all for making that available. I'll earn some points for the weekend. And if you can't already tell, Petersburg is on the move. I mean, our one-year celebration that we had last month really highlighted all that has been going on in Petersburg with this collective effort to fundamentally transform the future of this great city. A city that, in fact, has a great future because of the people that live here. And those folks have come together in a way that I think has exceeded anyone's expectations. And it is a moment of hope, it's a moment of aspiration, and it's also a moment of action. And that was something that was repeated to me over and over again when we started this great journey together, Mr. Mayor and Delegate Taylor, was that words are empty if they are not paired with action. And so thank you for your action, thank you for your action, but thanks to all of you for your deep engagement in making Petersburg truly the city on the move. And it's fun to travel around the Commonwealth and hear from people saying, I want to be like Petersburg. I want everyone to be focused on our city. And it's fun to see it happening here in such a big way. And in fact, in keeping those promises and celebrating action, I was so excited this week to see the formal announcement of something that I might have let slip out of the bag last month, which was the announcement from Amazon and Goodr to bring a mobile grocery store to Petersburg. And this is such a great innovation. This will be a grocery store on wheels. And it will be able to travel around Petersburg and bring a free shopping experience to Petersburg citizens, will allow them to come and choose their own groceries, to seek wraparound services like screenings for hypertension or for diabetes, and then to shake a hand of a very, very nice attendant and go home. And it actually will come to their home if needed. This is such an exciting moment. The truck is being built now, and it will show up in January and go to work just in time for so many folks who suffer from food insecurity. And right here in the dead of winter, there's no better time for that great, great, great step of collaboration from leading companies, a fabulous nonprofit that's doing this all over the nation, and the city of Petersburg to take yet another step together. Now, in the spirit of promises made and promises kept, I was proud to sign a budget last month. Yes, a budget that was long overdue. a budget that could easily have been done last March, a budget that brought together all of our needed investments and one big recognition that there is a meaningful part of the money that the state collects from each and every one of you that it does not need. And Virginians have suffered from overtaxation for 8 years, and we are putting an end to it. And so in our first budget, we had $4 billion of tax relief, and in the second budget, we were able to pair it with another billion, bringing $5 billion of tax relief to Virginians at a time where they need it most. See, for years, Virginians had been told that the budget exercise was an exercise of either or. You can either do that or you can do this. But the idea of reducing taxes and making critical investments in education and in law enforcement and in our behavioral health system, that, of course, was something that couldn't be done. Well, I said, yes, it can. And this is a time for both and. And when we reduce the cost of living and we streamline regulations, businesses come and people stay, and the overall opportunity in Virginia grows. And of course, when we had the $4 billion tax reduction package passed and agreed, and we were able to nearly double the standard deviation and remove our vets from having to pay state taxes on up to $40,000, and to eliminate the state's portion of the grocery tax, and last year to have $250 and $500 tax rebates for those filing individually at $250 and those filing jointly at $500, that $4 billion package transformed into a $5 billion surplus the next year at state government. Folks, this works. When we allow Virginians to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket, and businesses grow, and more people are working today than ever in the history of the Commonwealth, we create an economic engine that allows us to further reduce tax burdens and make critical investments in those areas of Virginian support that are so important. And that's exactly what this budget means. We, in fact, are seeing yet another $1 billion in tax relief, and we indeed are seeing a record investment in education, including $418 million directed towards high-intensity tutoring for 3rd through 8th graders across the Commonwealth of Virginia that have experienced material or learning loss, programs to address chronic absenteeism in school and support to have more reading coaches all through our school system, a record education budget. We are again seeing a record investment in law enforcement with further increases in salaries, particularly for our sheriff's departments and our Department of Corrections workers and the folks that work in our court systems. We, in fact, are seeing a record investment in behavioral health to address the fact that it is our largest issue, in my view, right now that has gone unaddressed, that we need to provide Virginians the right help right when they need it, which is right now. And finally, we are making critical investments across the social services infrastructure that need to be made. One of the things that I am so excited about is the fact that in our partnership for Petersburg, we are seeing so many Virginians able to buy their home for the first time, able to see downtown Petersburg transformed with our Main Street revitalization program, for us to be able to partner for internships and summer jobs for so many of Petersburg's kids, partnerships with the universities for tutoring programs in the schools. And finally, I am so excited to see lab school applications progressing, where we will in fact have the opportunity for 6th through 8th graders to really focus on STEM to build a future. Friends, this is what we're able to do in a both-and world, but we have to keep it moving. We have to keep investing and bringing down the cost of living, and allowing opportunity to surge across the Commonwealth and here in Petersburg. And so, as part of our reduction of the cost of living, the tax packages have done exactly that. Now nearly having fully doubled the standard deduction for Virginians, for making sure that all veterans, even if they're under 55, do not pay taxes on up to $40,000 on their retirement benefits. Yes, the grocery tax stays off of your bill for the state when you buy most needed groceries. And finally, yet another large rebate for all Virginians. Last year, $250 and $500, and this year, $200 for those Virginians filing individually, and up to $400 for those filing jointly. And that happens now. And then finally, of course, this weekend, all Virginians will enjoy a tax holiday as they go shopping. As they go shopping for needed school supplies, for clothes, for shoes, for emergency equipment, and for large energy and water-efficient appliances. This is an exciting time. And so, here's the key. Here's how the tax relief is going to work here starting next week. We will begin to send out checks next week, as I said, up to $200 for those who filed individually, up to $400 for those filing jointly. They will come in a series of waves. If you have not filed your tax return for 2022, please go get it filed. It has to be in by November 1st, and all tax returns in will be processed based on the order of received. And so if you were really efficient earlier in the year, you'll be first in line. And if you were slow, unfortunately, you'll be at the back of the line. But these will start being processed next week. Checks will start going out. And one at a time they are needed. Where we are seeing the impact of the last few years of inflation really show up everywhere. The grocery store is still a terribly challenging place for families to go. Those needed supplies for clothing and shoes for their children, paying rent, increased mortgage costs. This is the reality of high inflation, and this is why there's no better time for us to make this relief available to Virginians in this fall. Now, of course, what this also means is that people can choose what to do with your money. And as the delegate said, we believe that money belongs to you, not to the government. And finally, let me encourage everyone, if there is any shopping to be done for some of these essentials, do it this weekend. Of course, the tax holiday will start at midnight tonight and go through midnight on Sunday night. And please go fill up on school supplies for your children. Find clothes that are needed. Find shoes that are needed. If you need emergency supplies to get ready for a potential hurricane or other emergencies, please stock up. And finally, if there's a heavy appliance, a refrigerator that's needed in your home, now's the time to buy it. State taxes across the Commonwealth are roughly in the area of 5 to 6%, depending on the jurisdiction. And 100% of those sales taxes will not be charged on your purchase. And these can be very large purchases, up to $2,500 for an appliance. And saving 5 to 6% makes a big, big difference. At the heart of all of this is the clear recognition that Virginia is on the move. And because we are on the move, because we are seeing record employment across the Commonwealth, because we are seeing a 12-year high in labor participation, Virginians coming back into the workforce, because we're seeing companies expand and make investments at extraordinary levels, because the pharmaceutical cluster here in the greater Petersburg area is taking more and more investment and needs more and more people to work for it, because of the great work that the Petersburg City Council is doing in order to reach agreements with other folks to develop and build here, we are going to see opportunity further created. And with that opportunity creates more Virginians, it creates more receipts for the state government, which allows us to continue to reduce the cost of burden and the taxation that has been placed on folks, and also make these most important investments. Folks, this is a time to celebrate both and to reject either or. This is a time to celebrate coming together and moving as Virginians and not partisan politics. And finally, I think it is a time to say thank you to those that have been working so hard. And so I'm going to finish where I started. I would like to thank the Petersburg City Council for all the amazing work that you all are doing. Thank you. I would love to thank this City of Petersburg leadership across the board for all the amazing work you are doing, from our school board to our chief of police and the entire Petersburg Police Department, to the health department, to the sheriff's office, to the folks thinking about economic development who are partnering with us, to our transportation infrastructure leads that are partnering with the Virginia Department of Transportation, to our church leaders. Most importantly, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for your partnership. Folks, it's a great day. It's a great day to celebrate tax rebates. It's a great day to celebrate progress. And it is a great day to have lunch at Saucy's in Petersburg. God bless you all, and thank you.